job. This is really like in terms of being able to build our participants up and helping them find a better way of life. And part of that is a social enterprise. And so what I think of when I hear social enterprise is social currency. Sometimes we think work or careers, it's really about who you know. But at the same token, there's a little bit more to it. There's a community aspect of it. And in that community aspect, I mean, you can see in those photos there, you have people in job connection centers, you have people shopping, you have people working on those computers, and then you have people working. And so what that's kind of tying in is a concept that we have droppers helping shoppers, helping searchers become workers. So these training programs typically are at no cost to our participants. We don't really like to say that they're free. We say that they are no cost. And what that means is when we have people coming in, dropping in donations, it gets sorted and the sorted items go on the shelves. And that's where our shoppers come in. And at every 90 cents to the dollar of what is spent in the store goes towards funding, having people go through those training programs. So searchers and eventually become workers once they get their certification. And so yes, we don't really like to say that it's free. It's at no cost, mostly because that money is coming in from our community. So that's social enterprise. And this ties in ultimately into our mission, where Goodwill Industries provides access, information, and resources to help people improve their lives through the power of work. So that's us working, going into the communities, hosting events and fairs, hosting training programs, working with partners who have the resources to teach the certain certifications, have people go through, and eventually they become part of the workforce. So it really just kind of feeds back in having these different types of aspects, whether it's access, information, resources, just to make sure that we can keep everyone, help everyone improve their quality of life. And so we serve specifically our Goodwill Industries is called GUMSCA. So Goodwill Industries of Upstate Midlands in South Carolina. And we serve 16 counties. So here we are up in Greenville. I often find myself over in Newberry and Richland County, but overall, what we offer is available all across the 16. And so what we try to do is find the career that fits any age, any field, any skill level. And essentially there is a process that we go through. So what we're here today is to learn about those different career and training services. And within the scope of what it is that we offer, what it is that we help people do, we have 24/7 online services. We have job leads and referrals when you walk into those job connection centers. We have career coaching. So that's something that I do as a career navigator. Also, we have our employment specialists who help with resume and cover letter help. Job search tips are also available. Reliable computer, phone, and internet access whenever you come to one of our Goodwill locations that have a job connection center connected to it. Workplace skills training, that's essentially where we have different workshops where you can come in and learn, for example, how to make a LinkedIn profile, how to have soft skills and work etiquette. And of course, community resource referrals. Another way that we try to extend to our community in terms of supporting them, more specifically, we hold virtual or in-person career and field training classes. We have training programs for industry recognized certification exams. So they tend to be industry specific, but just the same, if that's the path that you'd like to go down, then we do our best to support you through it. Access to scholarships, paid work experience, and milestone incentives. And then, of course, we have the jobs fairs. And one thing that we understand as we are across 16 counties, it's quite vast. So what we try to do, or what we have in place, is a mission mobile. It is a bus that goes across the 16 counties throughout the weeks, throughout the months, to make sure that we can provide different services and access to people in those more remote locations. And on that bus, you can fill in a resume, you can apply for work in your local area, you can learn about the different training programs. So how do you get started in terms of getting into one of our training programs? So essentially, the first thing is to attend a weekly information session held throughout the Midlands and Upstate. I have a flyer that I can send over. That way you guys can see the different times and dates. I do want to put a small caveat note in there is that this week we don't have any info sessions just because we are doing a reset week, but all services will resume as of next week, which is looking at the 17th of March. You can schedule or drop in for a free one-on-one session with a career specialist, whether that's in person or virtually, to identify skills, strengths, and experience. And ultimately, you want to get matched to employment opportunities that fit your abilities. And if you don't have the abilities for what it is that you want, well, then that's another way for us to try to fill in that gap and help and find you quality or free or low cost training to prepare for work in demand fields. So more specifically in terms of what it is that we offer, we have over 20 training programs with 5 in-demand areas of interest. And those 5 areas of interest are healthcare, transportation and logistics, skilled trade, clean tech, and technology. Personally, I oversee the technology aspect. However, we all do our best to assist each other. We have different people designated. So for me, Tanisha, I look over technology, but I also assist, for example, with transportation and logistics. So that would be, for example, forklift and CDL, but I'll go more in detail. So technology, in terms of what's being offered right now, we have a class coming up looking at help desk technician, network support specialists, and cybersecurity. Overall, computer hardware engineering, drone pilot, that one will be in about a couple months. And there are a lot of different certifications that go with it. Many of them are vendor neutral. Some of them are a little more specific, and it's offered on a rotational basis. As for transportation and logistics, so the most typical one, considering our location here in the upstate, is the CDL-A driver's license. Closer to Columbia, where the city has a little bit more of a public transportation system that's a bit more vast, they would offer also the CDL-B driving license. So that is one slight difference between the two, but just the same, we offer the services. Heavy equipment operator, forklift operator, power line technician. All of those fall under the transportation and logistics pathway. Next up is looking at healthcare. So we have certified nursing assistant. I've worked a lot with these students and had a very strong class that came through despite the hurricane that interrupted their learning experience, but they came through very strong. So I'm very proud of them. Certified medical assistant, pharmacy technician, medical billing and coding, dental assistant, radiologic technologist, EMT, sterile processing. So many of these services, many of these programs are offered throughout the 16 counties. However, not all schools are located or the partners are located in 16 counties. So there may be a little bit of commute, but just the same, we assist our participants for getting into those programs. Clean tech, that is something that's coming down the pipeline. We're hoping that it'll start within the year. But within that training pathway, we have renewable energy professional, solar panel installer. So those solar panels to put on your roofs in your house to kind of conserve on using electricity. Electric vehicle technician, electric vehicle supply equipment, and heat pump technician. And then moving into skilled trades. So essentially anything that you would do to work on a building, a house, you go to Lowe's, you get some equipment, all of those kind of fall under skilled trades. So an electrician, a plumbing, carpentry, maintenance technician, and HVAC technician. That's kind of like the vents for air conditioning and heating. In terms of the resources that we're also offering all throughout the 16 counties, we have different regional centers, both in Midlands and Upstate, and they offer free career services, access to community resources. Again, those, laptops, whether you need internet, all of those are available there. You need to use a phone to go ahead and do a phone interview. We have quiet spaces where you can sit there and do that. Just want to make sure we put you in touch with what you need to help better your life any way possible. Another resource that we have, many of them are still slowly popping up, but they are definitely coming through, are those innovation institutes. And one right now we have located in Columbia. I know right now we're building one here in Greenville. And essentially, they are just advanced career and training programs within science, technology, and business fields. Right now, considering that we are still, the field is up and coming, technology is the main one that we offer for the moment. However, when it comes to science and business, that's definitely coming down the pipeline. And typically, any training will be offered through those innovation institutes. And within the Innovation Institutes, we have something called the Innovate Smart Lab. So basically, it's the technology, it's referring to the technology that is used to deliver any of those classes and trainings. So basically, virtual and in-person classes and training programs. And they also work as collaboration spaces. If you need to sit there and work on a team project, for example, you have access to those devices and the learning space and the quiet space to work on it. So looking at the Tech Academy, that is something that falls again within the Innovation Institute. And these are the different certifications that we tend to offer: cybersecurity education program, where students can train for industry, recognized certifications. So right now, CompTIA is the really big one. This is the one that's vendor neutral. What vendor neutral would mean is that no matter which company you work under, CompTIA is recognized. Versus if you find something that's a little more specific, nothing's wrong with that. It would just be that you would want to make sure that it's relevant to whatever that company actually works with. IT fundamentals, very basics. A+ certification is one of the CompTIA, as well as the Network Plus. Drone University is also within the Innovation Institute. And essentially, it is a 2-day, what we offer is a 2-day drone boot camp. They hold it from 9 pretty much to 5, typically on a weekend. So it'll be your entire Saturday and an entire Sunday. And then they have a 3rd day that is a hands-on drone navigation training day. And that prepares the students. We start typically from age 16 for the FAA 107 Part 8 exam, and then you get your drone's license. That will be really great. We've often had, for example, law enforcers or firefighters who need to use the drones to, do search and rescue or anything of that sort. So those certifications are very relevant. But just the same, farming industries, film industries, there are a lot of different ways that you can use this license, even if you aren't in law enforcement or otherwise. Career readiness. So this is in general. We offer this virtual and in person across the Midlands and upstate. And essentially they're workshops. So here, this is where we offer career coaching, career education. For example, resume writing. I do a lot of digital skills. So if you don't really know a lot about Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint, that's one that I go over. Another one is just, what is a computer? We have to we have to meet everyone where they're at. So if you're struggling with just using a device, I have a workshop that I run that's specifically catered to that. But overall, we have many, many different workshops, and they are available on our website. Virtual services. So my career advisor is the best way to kind of get yourself started in terms of creating a profile. So it is 100% on-demand online platform, available 24/7, and you can even speak with a career specialist within business hours. And there they have the classes, the training calendar. You can even do a little bit of career exploration, and I strongly recommend that. I know many people, for example, my IT students really want to get into cybersecurity, but the thing that we need to explain to them is that there are many steps in between getting to that final title. Just kind of like the same aspect of, say you want to become a NASCAR driver. Well, you don't just get a driver's license and all of a sudden you can drive a NASCAR. There are certain steps in between, more trainings that you need to go through before you can get that ultimate title, is how I explain it. On that platform, yes, career exploration, local job searches is wonderful. You put in your zip code and it lets you know, based on your interest, based on what it is that you're trying to get into, what is available close to you. It also helps you write up your resume, connect, or live chat with a career specialist if you have any issues as you're navigating, again, within business hours. SCVIA, so Employment Assistance and Readiness Training in the Upstate Midlands. And basically, this program is for workers with disabilities, significant disabilities, or Social Security disabilities beneficiaries. I personally haven't had the chance to work with them myself, but I know that we have it integrated. And many of our employees, they may have found the opportunity to work at Goodwill or otherwise with special thanks to SCVIA. And in terms of more community resources, always in the upstate and Midlands across those 16 counties, you have access to services virtually or near you through our two main centers here in the upstate are the Phyllis Wheatley Community Center. And then there is the Floors Gulf for Greenville Youth and Family Services. My nickname for the Floor Gulf's location is YFSC, so Youth and Family Service Center. And that is where I'm located currently today. In terms of targeted support, so oftentimes a lot of different groups will come to us for assistance, whether that's older adults. So we have programs that are specifically for people who are 55 and up, veterans. We have our young adults. I work a lot with the young adults. And then people in reentry, whether they have background challenges in terms of being able to have access to resources and get their life back on track. We definitely have different programs that are targeted to those groups. And so the next steps, this is typically when people come in for those info sessions. Just to give you a quick overview, there's an application to fill in. If there are required documents for that program, at that point, we'll inform you. We fulfill the prerequisites, whether there are assessments, screenings. As a nurse, you may have to do a background check, as well as a drug panel screen. And then, of course, we want to make sure we set you up for success. So there is those work readiness training, so those workshops. And then you get to work with a career navigator to create an individual career and financial plan. Because again, we're all about setting you up for success. And if you have any questions or if you want some more information, I'm also going to put it in the chat, but this is the email. You can reach out to us if you have questions, or typically if you want the information on when the next info session is, that is the email that you can reach out to, yfsc@goodwillsc.org. Thank you so much for your attention.
All right. Thank you so much, Tanisha. This was great information. Very useful.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Does anyone have any questions for Miss Tanisha before we move on? Just feel free to add the information in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question as well.
I also have the flyer here, but like I said, I can always email it out using that YFSC email.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, thank you again, and I guess we will move on. Want to next welcome Miss Mary Beth with SC Works. She's going to provide us some information. Welcome, Miss Mary Beth.
Thank you very much. I had to unmute myself. Sorry about that. It is a pleasure to be here, and I am very excited to talk with you about our WIOA program. These are federal funds that we receive from the Department of Labor. They come down to each individual state, and then from the state, those funds are broken up over the local workforce development areas. Do I need to share my screen, or do you have my presentation?
Actually, you can share it. That would be fine. That way you can control it easier.
Okay, can everybody see that? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so we'll just start off with a few basic questions because everybody always has questions about what is WIOA. It's the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. It's a federal program, as I mentioned. The funds that we receive through WIOA are directly earmarked to help with training, retention, and hiring. And the goal, of course, is to create a skilled workforce that can compete in all the different industries that we have here in the upstate area, particularly. Our five big ones are manufacturing, logistics, distribution, healthcare, IT, skilled trades. So that's really what we are geared towards when we are helping people, is trying to get them in sustainable careers that they're going to be able to be happy doing and upskilled to do. So WIOA helps any job seeker that is permanently laid off, that are incumbent workers, new to the workforce, veterans, those with disabilities, those who have been unemployed, those who have been underemployed. And what that term means, underemployed in Greenville, that means that you make less than $14.39 an hour. And in Spartanburg, Cherokee, and Union, that means that you make less than $14 an hour. Dislocation or permanently laid off is when you are laid off due to no fault of your own, and you are currently on unemployment, but you are wanting to either get into a new career or you are wanting to go back to school. Those are a couple of things that we help with. As I mentioned, we have training, education, career support, pathways to high-paying jobs, and post-secondary education. We are very fortunate in that our funds cover not only these courses, but we have specific things like on-the-job training, we have incumbent worker training, we have work experience. We also, if somebody has been working in manufacturing for most of their career and they decide, that was good, but now I'd really like to do something different, like get my CDL license. That is something that we can pay for people to go and do. Excuse me, I apologize. I took some allergy medicine this morning, and every time I turn around, I have a dry mouth. We also work in tandem right now with One Spartanburg. They have a program called Redegree, and it's tapping into the population in Spartanburg County that may have started a college degree, but they had to quit for whatever reason, whether it was financial or family or whatever. And we're working with them to get people that we identify that come through our doors, that they can actually go into this Redegree program and kind of step back into their degree to help them finish up where they're going to be able to take that education and find jobs. What you see below that are the local partners that we work with. If you can think of SC Works as like an umbrella, it's overarching, and we like to consider ourselves a one-stop. What that means is that the Department of Employment and Workforce, Social Services, Adult Ed, Veterans Services, and Vocational Rehabilitation can all be found under one roof at SC Works. So if you come in and you're filing for unemployment, you also want to see if you qualify for SNAP or TAMP. Maybe you don't have your GED or your high school diploma. We can help you all in one area. You only have to come in and tell us what all your needs are, and you can see someone in each of those departments that same day. That is part of what we consider our unique ability to be a one-stop. We have 4 centers in the upstate area. We have a comprehensive center in Greenville. It's at McAllister Square. We have a comprehensive center in Spartanburg. That's located at 110 Commerce Street. We have 2 satellite offices. One is in Cherokee off Tiffany Park, and the one in Union, they are in transition right now. They're moving into a new space, but currently they are at the Union Carnegie Library. So that's just, if you know people that need services, you can send them to us and we'll be happy to help them. Just to let you know a little bit about OJT, all services, first of all, that SC Works has, they're free. They're at no cost. You've paid for them through your taxes, so this is a great opportunity to take advantage of those things. We look at it from the employer benefit perspective and the employee benefit perspective. On the job training would be for anyone who is underemployed, unemployed, dislocated, and has a skills gap. So what that means is a company is willing to hire you and train you to fill that gap so that you will be successful in the job that they've hired you for. That's kind of where my team for business services, that's kind of where we're working in the background, making that magic happen. We work with employers to find out what their needs are, and then we try to match it to what someone going into an on-the-job training wants to do. A lot of times we see people that are wanting to get into manufacturing because of the hourly wage that is paid, and it keeps going up more and more when we're getting more people in the area. So the employer benefits are that they receive a financial incentive for hiring people coming out of SC Works programs through the WIOA program. These individuals that they receive reimbursement for can be up to $3,000 in their training wages. That means basically that they are those individuals that are going to be training those people and upskilling them, as I mentioned, to do the job that they've been hired for. So companies are on board with this person from day one. We basically are putting things into a pathway for individuals to be able to grow as they're in their careers. We're investing, and they are investing in future workforce. You are able to train employees to the standards that the company wants, and you're able to reach untapped pools of talent. We are very veteran forward, so we put them in a position where they see any jobs that are open through our website. They're able to see them 24 hours before anybody else. So that's how we prioritize those jobs. Now, for the employees, it gives them an opportunity to learn a new career, to receive training. They're more attractive in the workforce. They are a direct hire. This is something that I like to emphasize because for some folks, they think that we're a staffing agency and that having them on the job training and having done things the way that we do them, that means that they are literally like a temp. They are not a temp. They are the company's hire from day one. So whatever anybody else would get day one, they will also get. So if PTO accrual starts day one for somebody who's not through the WIOA program and they go through the WIOA program, they're the same. We can also assist with what we call supportive services, and that would be if the employer required that the individual have tools when they come the first day on the job, or they need steel-toed boots or some sort of PPE, anything that we can break down as a barrier for people trying to get reemployed is what we're going to do. So literally, they can come to us and say, my boss said I needed a new pair of steel-toed boots before my first day. We will create a voucher or we will order them and pay for that for those individuals. There is never a cost to them. They never have to pay anything back for that. So that we have as a kind of a feather in our cap in their ability to do that. They also have a case manager that works with them from the point of the inception of the WIOA program all the way through their process of taking either training or on-the-job training and then they check in with them periodically after they exit the program. So who qualifies? As I mentioned, it's individuals that have been unemployed for 13 or more weeks, those that have been dislocated, no fault, and those that are underemployed. And there's that information there about what the hourly wage has to be. Let me just skip this. If anybody knows of a company that could take advantage of on-the-job training, please refer them to us. If you know somebody somewhere who could use $3,000, for training somebody to do a job that they're hiring for, and is okay with training that individual, we want to work with them. We want to know who they are. I have provided basically our SWAS, or our South Carolina Workforce Online Services. This is where people can go to search for jobs in our statewide database. Not only are jobs posted there by employers, but sometimes they will get jobs spidered in from Indeed or LinkedIn. So you may see those things there as well. But most of the jobs that we have there have actually been provided by the employer, and usually they're very current. We put out a hot jobs list every week of jobs that have been put onto our system in the last 10 days. So those are companies that are definitely urgently hiring. They're looking for employees to come on right away. So those are things that we're able to do. We do post those online. We have a LinkedIn page, and we also have a Facebook page, and it's just SC Works Greater Upstate. You can go to either one of those, find out what's going on when we're having job fairs, when we're having resource events, when we're doing workshops. The hot jobs, as I mentioned, those are all posted on our website, on our social media. So as I mentioned, this is where our offices are. And these again are the people that we work with. Wanted to point out a couple of things. We also do career coaching. We do resume assistance. We do mock interviews. We do computer basic courses. You can file for your unemployment at our office, but we are not considered the unemployment office. We used to be part of the EEOC, but we are not anymore. That split occurred about 15 years ago or so. And they're basically now a call center in Columbia. So there is not a live person in our office that works specifically for unemployment, but we can get you onto the portal at the state to get you registered for your unemployment. Some of the things that we also provide through our partners, SC provides federal bonding, which means if you have someone who is a second chance individual and they are looking for second chance employers, we do have a list of individual companies that will work with second chance. But if there is any question by the company and they want to federally bond someone, they can do that through SC Works, through the Department of Employment and Workforce. And I believe that it is for the first 6 months that someone's employed. And then if they want to continue that federal bonding for the remainder of that year, I think it's at a lowered rate for what you would have to pay for it otherwise. We also work with several local partners. So you will see us engaging with the United Way, with Concordance, who also works with second chance individuals that are coming out of incarceration. They get them right before they come out. They work with them for, I think it's 18 months. They get them back into society. They try to integrate them, because some people, if you really think about it, some people have been incarcerated to where they don't even know what the internet is. And so they come out and they're very unprepared to help themselves. So this is a group that helps with that. We also work with the college and university system, and K through 12 educators. So we're kind of got a wide range, sort of our fingers in all kinds of different areas. We are always looking for new partners, groups that would like to have some sort of workforce presence where they can send people to us, or let them know about what services we have. So that is my presentation. And if anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth. I see there's one question in the chat from Shavanti. It asks, let's see, what details can you provide about what previous colleges or the type of degree that a person had to be pursuing to be able to take advantage of the program opportunity that helps you finish your degree?
So that would be a conversation with Redegree in Spartanburg County. As I understand it, because what we're doing right now is we're referring people to them. I know how the program works, but I think what it would be is they would have to know, it's probably your transcripts from a school, and they'll see like what you were taking, what degree you were pursuing, and then help you get that jump start back into a college or university of your choice. So I would definitely reach out to One Spartanburg and ask to speak to their Redegree coordinators, and that will definitely be able to provide you with a much broader explanation than I'm able to. But thank you for the question. That's a great question.
Devontae, do you have any further questions? You can unmute yourself. Please feel free. Anyone is okay to unmute yourselves and ask any questions as well.
Oh, I love to chat.
No,
and
thank you.
answer
That was very insightful. I'll definitely reach out, and I appreciate that information.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions from anyone? I noticed, I think a couple of people joined us kind of midway through. If you have any questions for Mary Beth with SC Works or Tanisha with Goodwill, please feel free to unmute yourselves or type any questions in the chat. And also, I believe everyone's that has a student at Berea, Lakeview, or Tanglewood has placed their information in the chat. But if you've joined us kind of after we started and you have a child that attends Berea, Lakeview, or Tanglewood Middle, we just ask that you place their first and last name in school in the chat. We do this just to make sure that the incentive of the gift cards with our our partnership with OnTrack Greenville, that we have the opportunity to get those gift cards to the parents at those 3 schools that attend our meetings. Okay. Don't see any. Let's see. Just checking the chat again, make sure I don't miss any questions. Okay. Looks like we're good on this end. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for your time and joining us. Please reach out if you have any further questions or need contact information for Goodwill or SC Works for our presenters. I can definitely connect you to them. Also, we have a YouTube channel at Infinite Pos Inc., and I can actually add that in the comments. On that YouTube, we put these monthly family learning meetings for reference. So if you want to go back and hear the information again, it's always available to view there, also in Spanish and English options. So please feel free to go on there if you miss a meeting or want to just go back for references. We keep those on that channel every month. Also, next month coming up, our April 9th meeting will be about summer programs for students, because we know the kids will be getting out of school soon in May, and probably will need those resources as well, especially a lot of our families that are needing assistance with childcare, things like that while school's out. So looking forward to everyone joining us again next month, and also just enjoy your day and your spring break. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.